What is up, everyone? Boji here, back at it again, and it is almost Friday, and you know exactly what that means, another summoning event. So this week it is a 10-time summon event, and this list is pretty much toward Doom's Tower. So I think they're trying to help some people out, get some champions that will be useful in Doom Tower. Some of them are very good, some of them are okay. But we'll go ahead and go through that list. I'll give my opinion on each of the champions, and then I'll give you an overall summary of if I think you should be summoning during this event. But yeah, let's go ahead and just jump right into it. So first on the list is a Banner Lord by the name of Black Knight. So Black Knight has a Provoke on his A1, has a Continuous Heal, Increased Defense, big version on his A2, which you can pretty much keep up 100% of the time if you book him. A3 is an AoE that hits harder as he loses health, and then he has a passive that adds an unkillable to himself if he takes more than 15% of his max HP in one hit. Definitely not a bad legendary, but not the best in Banner Lords. And honestly, I think he was added only because there is a Banner Lord secret room on the normal side, so pretty sure that's why he's in here. But yeah, not a bad champion, not a great champion. Next on the list is a barbarian by the name of Jotun. So Jotun has been buffed, so he is doing more damage, but yeah, let's go through his kit real quick. His A1 has the lower version of decreased defense. It is consistent at least because it's on his A1, so that's a little bit, okay, but it is the small version of decreased defense. He has an HP burn on his A2. HP burn is going to be good for Doom Tower for the Frost Spider. And then his A3 is a decreased target max HP by 30% of the damage inflicted, which is good for the Scarab boss in Doom Tower. Now, overall, I don't think he is worth summoning just because of the fact that there are better HP burn champions out there. And if you're really holding out to use him for the Scarab boss, you could honestly just farm out a Destroy set, and I think you'd be better off using a better champion. So, and on top of that, his AI is a little bit wonky because I believe he won't use his A2 unless he has the lower version of decreased defense from his A1 on the target. So it can be a little bit weird. Definitely not worth summoning for this event, in my opinion. Next on the list is an Orc by Teela Goremane. So I've heard nothing but bad things about this champion, honestly. I don't personally have this champion, but we'll go through her kit anyway. A1 has a chance to steal a random buff. A2 has the HP burn, once again good for the Frost Spider. Can also add a continuous heal to all allies if the attack is critical, so a little bit of support right there. And then the A3 has a chance to add leech and heal reduction. So heal reduction would do very good on the nether spider. And then the leech is just a nice to have, so you don't have to build people in lifesteal gear. But honestly, I feel like there are a billion other champions that can do this job better. So definitely not worth summoning, especially as a legendary champion. Because you're going to probably want to book her if you use her. And I don't think it's worth the books, guys. So I'm going to say a no on Teela Goremane. Next on the list, which is the reason why I think people will want to summon during this event, two demon spawns. So there is Tyrant Ixlimor, the best HP burn champion in the game, I think. On his A1, he has an attack one enemy, heal this champion for 25% of the damage dealt, or heal 50% of the damage dealt if the target has HP burn on it. Very good sustain. You don't need the lifesteal gear. If you do have lifesteal gear, you heal even more, so there's that. The A2, which is his HP burn, attack all enemies. If you book it, it's a 100% chance to apply this HP burn, and it does it for 3 turns. Along, if you book it, it drops it to a 3-turn cooldown, so pretty much always keeping HP burn up. Very, very big, in all honesty, especially since it's an AoE HP burn. Works very well for obviously the Frost Spider and Doom Tower, but also the regular Spider 20, because HP burn is very big in there. So if you're not going for the quick Royal Guard Cold Heart kills and stuff like that for regular Spider, Tyrant is probably the best, along with Ultimate Gaelic does pretty well too. On the A3, he has an ally protect and an increased defense. Big version for all your other allies. Very cool. And then along with his passive, decreased damage inflicted by enemies with HP burn by 10%. So that's a flat 10% reduction. So along with the ally protection, the increased defense, his passive, he's definitely protecting your team and using that AoE HP burn. So a monster of a champion. I love him. Definitely worth summoning if you're going for a summon, but yeah. The other demon spawn is going to be a void champion, Bloodtwin. So Bloodtwin has a decreased max HP on his A1, very good for the Scarab boss in Doom Tower. On his A2, hits very hard and just hits harder as the target loses HP. His A3 attacks all enemies, hits very hard, and applies a leech, which leech is nice, but it's just an added bonus. And then the passive is where he is actually really big. Heal this champion for 30% of their max HP each time they kill an enemy. That's okay. It's nice, but not crazy. But it is the enemies killed by this champion cannot be revived. So very big for Ice Golem, very big for PvP. But we also found out the Frost Spider, even though they do note in the video and whatnot that you have to have an HP burn when you kill the spider so it doesn't revive, you actually can use block revive abilities on that spider. Now, I don't know if they're going to change this in the future, but for right now, things like Armiger's block revive, Bloodtwin's block revive, any block revive really is going to work on the Frost Spider. So you don't necessarily need to use the HP burn strat. It's probably going to be more consistent, but if you are having a hard-hitting team and whatnot, you can definitely use Bloodtwin and hit. And the nice thing is it's his passive, so any hit that he uses is A1, A2, or A3 on the spider. If it's the last hit, he's going to proc that block revive. So definitely really cool. And he's a void champion, which means he can be used anywhere pretty much. So definitely worth summoning if you are looking at summoning void shards. Next on the list are some undead horde champions. You have Mausoleum Mage, very well known for his comboing with the Seer. And so yeah, you have his A2, which applies the 3 buffs: increased crit, increased defense, and block debuffs. Can drop that down to a 3-turn cooldown. This enables Seer to use Karma Burn right off the bat. So very good combo with her when you're trying to clear floors very fast. But I think he's in here for the Doom Tower because of this ability, his A3. So its A3 is a complete cleanse of all allies along with a heal. And his heal goes up further the more debuffs he actually takes off. And then he also has a chance to fill ally turn meters by 15% if he's removed 2 or more debuffs. Extremely good champion. I have him in a shield set, and he just does wonders if you need a cleanser. So, and there's a lot of stuff to cleanse in the Doom Tower. You have poisons on Nether Spider, you have the freeze on the Frost Spider, you have provoke and decrease speed on the Scarab boss, and then you have HP burn on the Dragon boss in Doom Tower. So plenty of things to cleanse. I think cleansers are honestly very key. So the other undead champion in here is Zelotah. So Zelotah has a sleep on his A1, a sleep on his A3, but it's an AoE sleep, and has a higher chance if the enemies have debuffs already. But the reason I think he's on this list is because of his A2. So his A2 is placing a shield buff on all allies equal to 20% of this champion's max HP for 3 turns, and then also places a continuous heal. So for the Scarab boss, you definitely need a shield champion, and I think this is where he is gonna shine if you end up using him. But yeah, overall, I think there are better champions out there, but him being an epic champion, not something like a Valkyrie and stuff like that, definitely accessible. And his A1 and A3 can also help on the waves if you're going to have issues on hard mode in the waves. So I would say he's worth summoning, but probably not the one that you're going to go after. Next on the list are some Dark Elves. So Dark Elves have a secret room, so I'm guessing that's why they were also included, but Crimson Helm. So in my opinion, Crimson Helm doesn't have a particular place in the Doom Tower. I'm thinking they added her to help get through the secret room on hard mode for Dark Elves. But yeah, so her A1 has a decreased attack, which is always a nice thing to have. Her A2 attacks 4 people at random. Each hit has a chance to add provoke. And then she places a block damage buff on herself, so she can soak a lot of damage. Um, and then her A3 is a revive on death buff and 60% increased defense buff on all allies for 2 turns. And you can drop that down to 4 turns. So doesn't have a very key place in the Doom Tower, but I think they added her for the secret room if you're having issues with that. And overall, she's a decent champion for faction wars as well, so not a bad summon, but not on the top of the list. The other Dark Elf is going to be Blind Seer, very top notch, especially after her fix. So if you don't know, her A1, attack 3 times at random, each hit has a 30% chance of decreasing turn meter by 15%. Very good for Fire Knight, can help take down the shield and also help keep down the shield when hitting that turn meter reduction. Her A2 does a block debuffs, very, very big in Doom Tower. Like I said previously, cleansers are wanted for all the debuffs, so if you can do a block debuffs, that's great as well. And then she also adds a shield buff to all allies equal to 30% of the champion's max HP. Pretty much just stack a lot of health on her and a lot of speed, and you'll be fine. You do need accuracy for her A1 though, for like Fire Knight stuff, so you do want accuracy, but very easy to stack HP, honestly. And then you have her A3, revive all dead allies to 35%, and then places a block damage buff on all allies except this champion for 1 turn. Very, very big, especially on a 5-turn cooldown, having an AoE res. Just very big. She used to take damage from this previously before she got changed, and now she doesn't. So very, very cool res. And then her aura is an all battles ally defense 34% up. Very, very nice, honestly. And since it's in all battles, you can use this aura in the Doom Tower. So definitely worth summoning in the Void category because you have Blind Seer and Bloodtwin within that pool of champions for this 10 times. So yeah, if you're going to summon Voids, I think it's worth it. And then the last one on the list for the 10 times event is Night Revenant. So, or not Night Revenant, a Night Revenant named Doompriest. So Doompriest, on her A1, if it is a critical hit, can place a 15% crit rate buff on a random ally for 2 turns. Nothing big there. Has an increased attack buff for all allies on her A2. Nothing crazy there. But her passive. So her passive every turn heals all allies for 7.5% of their HP and removes a random debuff from them at the start of this champion's turn. Pretty much the boss cleanser of this game. So every turn she's going to cleanse something off of all your champions. And a lot of people like to set her in a relentless set because more turns, more cleansing, more heals. The nice thing is that it doesn't have a real big cooldown. It's just every time she goes. So if you build her with plenty of speed, she will keep up the heals, so keep up the cleansing. People like Mausoleum Mage or even Bad L, they have cooldowns on their cleansing. She does not. It's any time that she goes. So very big champion for Doom Tower. I honestly wouldn't mind having her. But yeah, definitely worth getting if you're going for it. So that is it for the champions. So overall, I'm going to say if you're summoning Void champions, definitely worth it. If you're summoning for the other, like Ancient and Sacreds, I'm going to say that's going to be a no-go. So the reason I'm saying that is you also have the Fusion event that's coming up next week, Monday, and there is always a Summoner's Rush and a Champion Chase event. And so I would save your shards for that. There's just too big of a pool of bad champions during this 10 times event. I think I calculated it to be 5 okay champions and 5 good champions, but 2 of the good champions are void. So you only have 3 good champions within that pool of ancient and sacreds. So yeah, definitely don't think it's worth it. But by all means, if you need any of these champions and you are wanting to go for them, don't let me stop you. Do what you want. But I do recommend you keep some shards available for the events for the fusion summon coming up next week. But yeah, please let me know down in the comments below if you're going to summon during this 10 times event, or if you're going to hold on to your shards and, you know, try your hand at getting some cool stuff next week. Next week should be a 2 times sacred, but I will definitely make a video on that, clarifying that once I know more. But yep, that is it for the video, guys. Sorry this is so late. I'm sure there's some other videos out there already talking about this, but I wanted to get it out for you guys. But yeah, I will talk to you guys in the next video. See ya.